will start in Chicago. It's going to be a chilly matchup in Chicago. 16 degrees at kickoff. Going to feel like 3 degrees, so almost 0 degrees. Wind is going to be up to 24 mile per hour gusts. It's going to be chilly, probably the coldest matchup of this weekend, bar none. We look at the defenses, though, because you hear wind, freezing cold. Usually that kind of stalls, freezes off the offense a little bit. But these are two teams that are offense by a mile. The Bears rushing defense, 27th in the NFL. The Rams rushing defense, 12th in the NFL. So Bears is horrible. We're talking about a bottom 7 unit in the NFL. Rams rush defense, just slightly above average. On the pass defense, the Bears are 22nd in the NFL, but the Rams are 19th. So, and we're talking about two quarterbacks that are probably top 10, maybe top 5. We'll get into that in a second. So we're talking about two teams. This is probably going to be the highest scoring game of the weekend. This is going to be a shootout, but it's going to be freezing cold. So we'll see how that impacts the game. But these are two quarterbacks that like to air that thing out. We look at the matchups. The Bears against playoff teams, 4-2. The Rams, 5-4. Both teams have played very good competition just within their division alone. Probably the two best divisions in football. But looking at last week, I mean, no one thought the Bears were going to come back. I was watching it with a bunch of Chicago fans. I thought, wow, this looks like, the last 20 years, last 30 years, maybe even, Green Bay owned Chicago. And then it just flipped a switch. I mean, it was 21-3 at halftime. The Bears offense looked dead in the water. And in the second half, Caleb just takes over. He looks like Superman. He's got the entire city of Chicago on his back. I don't know what to say. I mean, that was one of the most unbelievable comebacks, one of the most unbelievable second half quarterback performances. Just the clutch factor has been unreal. Going into the game, Caleb had 6 game-winning drives to tie or win the game in under 2 minutes. I think that was the most in an NFL regular season ever. And then he does it against the rivals. He was coming back the entire time. I mean, it was unbelievable. So when you look at that performance, Jake, I mean, unbelievable performance by Caleb Williams. You look at how they're playing right now. Would you say that Caleb Williams is a top 5 quarterback right now?
Right now, absolutely. I think that this is the year for the Bears, and more importantly, I think this is a year for Caleb Williams. As you said, like the score for that last game was 21-3 at halftime. I missed the first half of that game, unfortunately, tuned in for the second half. I saw the score was 21-3, and I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. Caleb Williams is winning this game, and that's exactly what he did. I've seen it time and time again. It's been 5 weeks in a row where Caleb has put that entire city on his back and carried them to victory. He has dragged that team single-handedly to victory. I think they're the best team in the AFC, and I think the Rams are going to struggle against them a lot. Chicago's a little bit more familiar with those colder temperatures. Matthew Stafford has a lot of time over there, but I don't think the rest of that Rams team is going to be able to hold up against that Bears team.
For the Bears' key to victory, I'm going to say Caleb is going to need to outduel Stafford with his arm. And on the other side, for the Rams, same thing. Stafford's going to need to outduel Caleb with his arm. I think this is a matchup of quarterbacks, and I know that Stafford might be the MVP this year. He looked pretty solid in that second half last week, but so did Caleb. So I think whatever quarterback throws for more passing yards is going to win the game. So the key to victory is just quarterback battle. And I think that's why people love the playoffs. It's usually the best quarterbacks, and whoever wins this quarterback duel, I think will win the game. But from one NFC matchup to another, we head to the best home field advantage in possibly the entire league. I'm talking about Seattle and the 12th man. These are two teams that are very familiar with each other, but coming into this game very differently. The San Francisco 49ers are limping into this game with the little weapons they have left. On the other side, the Seahawks, they're relaxing. They're coming into this game fully rested after dominating the 49ers just 2 weeks ago. On the injury report, the 49ers, no Bethune, no Fred Warner likely. He was activated, probably isn't going to play. And George Kittle went down with an Achilles injury. He's out. However, Ricky Purcell, wide receiver, he is likely to play. So they lose Kittle, they get Purcell back, still are decimated on the defensive side of the ball. Look at the 49ers. Before that, honestly, devastating loss versus the Seahawks in Week 18, they had won 6 straight. They're coming off of a hard-fought, absolutely coaching brilliance in their win against Philadelphia last week. But we look back. I think the Week 18 matchup, that's all we need to look at. I don't care about their earlier season game. We're talking about Week 18. Sunday Night Football, all the stakes. It's going to be similar to that. So I look at Week 18. I think it's a slight showcase of what we are likely to see this week. In that game against Seattle Week 18, Brock Purdy, 127 yards and a pick. Not a great performance at all. Probably his worst performance of the year. Christian McCaffrey, however, I think this is unbelievable, and I think this was why they lost this game in the way that they did. We're talking about McCaffrey, who carries the team, all-purpose yards. He had 8 rushes for 23 yards, less than 3 yards per carry. Seattle found the answer to stop McCaffrey. I don't think I've ever seen a team in the 7 or 8 years that McCaffrey's been in the league. I've never seen a worse performance. And I'm not saying it's all McCaffrey's fault, but Seattle had the answers to the test. We look at the 49ers against playoff teams. They're 5-4. We talk about how important that is, against good competition. They played pretty well. When you look at them last week, I think they're up to the test. But going back to that game against Seattle, Week 18, they were 2 of 9 on third down. They could not run the ball with McCaffrey. They could not get the key third down conversions. And the result of that is their offense only scored 3 points. The Seahawks rush defense is 3rd in the NFL. They're only allowing 92 yards per game. They were able to stop McCaffrey. We'll see if it happens again. On the other side, the 49ers rushing defense, it's 11th in the league. Pretty solid. 108 yards per game. We'll see if that changes with Fred Warner and his presence at linebacker. Probably is going to be a little bit worse than 11th if I had to guess on how they do it. We'll see if the duo with Seattle, if their running back duos can get anything going. And we'll see if Zach Charbonnet likes to steal more touchdowns from K9. On the passing side of the ball, though, looking at Sam Darnold versus the 49ers passing defense. The 49ers passing defense is 25th in the league, 234 yards per game. Sam Darnold's going to need to air this ball out against them. For Brock Purdy, Seahawks passing defense, 10th in the NFL, only 194 yards per game. Purdy is probably going to need to have way more than that if they're going to have a chance of winning this game. You look at this might be the game of the week. We'll see how much coaching infects this game. Last week, 49ers had the best coaching masterclass of any team, bar none. You look at this game, Jake, you said this is the game of the week. Why is this the game of the week?
I mean, you've got Kyle Shanahan. You've got an experienced coach taking a pretty experienced team and a smart quarterback up against Mike McDonald and his young group of football players. And it's just, I think this will be the best coaching matchup of the season. If you look back at the other 49ers-Seahawks matchups this year, they're pretty close games. Say what you will about the Seahawks' most recent win. I think that was a great defensive game. I think we played great. But at 10 points, that's 2 good drives out of Brock Purdy. Anything is possible. The first game we played came down to 1 play. Nick Bosa made it. He got Sam Darnold with the strip sack, and it was game over. I think this will be a similar game. I think that this will come down to a 1-score game for sure. Somehow the Seahawks are favored by 7 points now? 7-point favorites. I think this is going to come down to a point or two. I think this game is going to be really close. I think it's going to be back and forth. And I mean, like you said, there's a lot of keys to victory. The Seahawks need to run the ball. They need to continue to run the ball. That duo with Charbonnet and K9 has been lethal all season, and we need to keep it going. I think it's really important for them to get those yards and also take the pressure off of Sam Darnold. I think Darnold's performance is going to kind of dictate the flow of this game. However he performs, the amount of pressure that we put him under, not saying that he can't perform under pressure, but if we look at his history, he struggled when he's expected to carry the team. He is a pivotal part of this team, but I don't think that he has the exact same clutch capabilities as some other quarterbacks in the league. Overall, I think the Seahawks are a great team. I think their defense is going to show up. We've had an extra week of rest. I think this team is ready, but I think this is going to be a very close game, and I would definitely not count the Niners out of anything, especially in a divisional matchup.
For the 49ers, key to victory, I'm going to say that they need Christian McCaffrey to have a strong running performance on the ground.
Shut down the run.
And for their D-line to get Sam Darnold uncomfortable, I'm not saying that they have to have a ton of sacks or forced turnovers, but they need to get pressures on Darnold, make him feel uncomfortable. For the Seahawks, their key to victory, their defense needs to throttle up and bottle up Christian McCaffrey once again, leaving Brock Purdy to fend for nothing. No Kittle. If they force Purdy to beat him with his arm and arm alone, I think they will win this game. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and drop your divisional round takes in the comments. Appreciate you all for watching. We will see you in the aftermath.